G'day Internet, welcome back to another video. So last week I got a phone call from a mate of mine, Dave, who's moving house, and he was clearing out his shed. And he said, I found something that you might be interested in. This here is a Sheen M-1200. You can't read it because it's all faded. And from what I can tell, it's obviously a games console, and a games console that failed miserably. The story behind this, from what I can tell, goes somewhere as follows. During the 70s, RCA, as in, the hi-fi company, released a series of home consoles called the RCA Studio. There was the 1 and there was the 2, and they were planning for a 3. Between the release of 2 and 3, the Atari VCS hit the market, dominated. RCA had already lost a buttload of money on the first 2 and decided to give up. What they then did was sell the intellectual property rights to a Hong Kong company called Conic, who then started producing these. And I believe they were sold under various different brands, but here in Australia, they were sold as Sheen. Now, from what I can tell, at least kind of poking in the top, I don't think this thing has ever been used. The tape is broken at the top, so it's obviously been opened at some point, but things look mysteriously in very good condition inside. So what I want to do in this video is essentially unbox it, check it out. We might crack it open and see what actually makes it tick inside. I don't have any cartridges. Supposedly there was a list of about, it's written on the side here, about a dozen games that were meant to be released, but I can't find anything that says yes they were. I did see a hint that possibly this is compatible with the RCA Studio 2 cartridges, or at least the games. And I went on eBay to see if I could find any of them, and I did, and I'm not paying that much money. So to begin with, at least, let's crack this thing open and see what we've got. So here it is. It's obviously very faded. From what I can tell, these were released in 1978, which kind of does put it at the same time, at least here in Australia, as the VCS, because I don't think we actually got the VCS here in Australia. As much as it was released in 77, I don't think we actually got it until 78 here. So this would have been a direct competitor. Microprocessor programmable TV game. From what I can tell, this uses one of RCA's own processors. So it's not like a Z80 or a 6502 or anything like that. It's an RCA specific one. And it does come with a doodle, pattern, bowling, and a couple of different versions of blackjack built into the console. So let's open it up. We've got all the original foam. How do I want to do this? All right. Let's see if we can get it carefully out. I don't want to tear the box or the plastics or the foam. Okay, there it is. There is an imprint here of what looks like the antenna lead. So maybe it has been out and then put back in the bag. Don't know. We've got some things stuck in the side. What have we got? We've got the RF splitter to connect TV or game, fairly common. For these kind of consoles. It even still has its original double-sided sticky tape pad on the back. That's kind of cool. And this is a very small box. What do we got? Probably the power supply. Yes, it's the power supply. All still balled up in there the way it originally was. It is a GAF branded adapter, and it has an output of 9 volt DC on a 3.5 millimeter mono headphone jack. All right, let's carefully get the foam inserts off. Come on. Right, one. Do we all hate that sound as much as I do? Right, two, and yeah, this looks all originally sealed. Oh no, there's a bit of tape mark just there. This has been out in the past. Let's see if I can get it and find a knife to actually cut that with. I would much prefer to cut this tape and then instead of stretching the hell out of the plastic. And we've got some more tape underneath. Let's slide it out. There is our console. Everything looks in incredibly good condition. We've got a few marks of cable burn, unfortunately, but we also have some documentation. Inside the box we have this. You must not throw this away, you must read it. And it goes through making sure your power's on, making sure you fine-tune the picture, so on and so forth. Is your TV set faulty? We actually have some Sheen service centres. Sheen Electronics in Tullamarine in Melbourne, Victoria. Atlas Electronics in Sydney. Care of General Wholesalers in Valley in Queensland. South Australia had its own Sheen, and so did West Australia. And on the back, a bit of a diagram on how to plug everything in. And the manual. We have a manual for Resident Games. So I will go through this as we turn it all on. It's got some information about the frequency it produces. Yeah, okay. How to play the various games, like bowling, blackjack. Okay, cool. And that's all in very original condition. Let's have a look at the actual console. And here it is. This is obviously where the cartridges would go, if I had any. Power LED, a clear button, two controllers. Do these come out? I don't think they do. I think these are built in. Which is odd because the diagram in the little manual showed how to plug these in, which is a little strange. What have we got on the bottom? Channel select. That looks like a battery compartment. I'll have to have a poke around in there. And that's kind of it. And on the back, external power and the hardwired RF lead. So the question is, do I just simply power this on and we have a play, or do I open it up and we can have a look what makes it tick? I think we open it up. Well, it's nice to know all the screws are the same length. That will be useful later on. Okay, here we go. Hang on. Okay, I'm going to have to swing this around. Okay, there is the inside of our Sheen M-1200. And taking a bit of a look around inside and doing some Googling, we've got a series of ROMs over here. I'm assuming they're going to contain the 4 built-in games. We've got a bunch of Mitsubishi chips, which, as far as I can tell, are simply just logic chips. Over here we have an RCA CDP 1864, which is the video chip. Here we have the CDP 1802. This is the RCA microprocessor that I mentioned earlier. And this CD 45158, not actually sure. Okay, a little bit more Googling. This seems to also be some kind of logic chip. But these down here are the SRAM. They are CDP 1822s. Other than that, we've got our RF modulator. We've got a power regulator of some description over here. The cartridge socket. various passive components, and that's kind of your lot. I'm just trying to be very careful of these two ribbon cables up here which go to the joy pads, which aren't removable, they're screwed in. But yeah, that's the inside of a Sheen M-1200. And now for my next challenge, I'm going to attempt to power it on and hope that nothing goes bang. All right. Well, the LED came on. Let's see if I can tune it in. Now, this is obviously got a digital tuner, so it may struggle. I do have a plan B, but plan A first. Well, according to the manual and the frequency this is meant to be outputting, this is already charged straight past it. Because it should be either 55.25 or 62.25, and it's way past that. I got it to tune in, and I believe this is bowling. Okay, and I'm reading the instructions. It goes first and gets 2 tries. Okay, so you've got buttons 2, 5 and 8. Button 8 will hook it that way. Button 2 will hook it that way. And button 5 will be a straight shot. So, let's see if I can do this. Could have been worse. There you go, I'm playing bowling. This must be player 2, okay. The whole hook thing didn't seem to really work. Well, I did better that time. Maybe you got to hold it down a bit. Don't think that's going to quite do it. Is it going to clip the other one? No. Bowling, 1978 style. Now, the other games that are built into this is a doodle program, which has really confusing instructions, but I believe I move the cursor with the player 2 controls and set a bunch of options on the player 1 controls. So, as an example, I can change my color. That's white. That looks like pink, blue, some other pinky color, green, another green, and another blue. Okay. These keys also generate sounds. Tones are heard. Start moving the dot using keys 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 0 on keypad B. The direction is shown on the arrows, which it is. Press 5 on keyboard B when you're ready to write. Press 0 on keyboard B to move the marker. Okay, so 0. And because I'm mature. And there we go, the Sheen M-1200, also known as the RCA Studio 3 and a whole bunch of other names. Look, it's a cute little device, especially given the era that it came from. Is it a competitor to the Atari VCS? Not in the slightest. But look, if you were a kid in 1978 or 79 and you got this for Christmas or whatever, you would be stoked. This would be the best thing ever, honestly. Until you went and played your friend's 2600, but that's beside the point. On Christmas Day, you would have absolutely loved life. And of all the games, bowling isn't horrible. It's completely straightforward. Yeah. So it's a cute little device. What am I going to do with this? I don't know. What I will probably do is it will probably go on display at work, just as a bit of an oddity. I will try and keep my eye out for some games. I doubt there's much to them. Far as I can tell, the ROMs have been dumped. So maybe it's possible to make a cartridge for this. Maybe all the ROMs dumped onto a single EEPROM and some dip switches. I don't know. But it's a cute little device and I like it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like, subscribe, all the usual YouTubey stuff. As always, a massive shout out to my patrons who are scrolling up the screen as I speak. And if you'd like to help support the channel, there is a link down in the description. But until then, I'll see you in the next one.